Hi, this is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I've got this Calming Camellia card to share with you. Let's get started. For this card, I'm going to be using the Calming Camellia stamp set. It is a Sale-a-Bration offering from the January-February 2022 collection. And I'm going to start with my stamp in my Stamparatus and a piece of basic white. And I'm going to ink in Smoky Slate. Let's move this so I'm not bouncing the camera as much. Okay. And we may need to ink this a couple of times, which is why I've got it in the Stamparatus. Yes, I do want to ink again. So concentrating on those flowers, of course. And let's give that a good press. And just using the heel of my hand to add the pressure. That's much better. Okay, and then I'm going to turn around and do that again so that I have some extra pieces to play with. Okay, and that works fine there. And then let's move this out of the way for a moment. And I've got a piece of basic white. Oops, forgot I've got this on the Stamparatus and I need to move this in. And we're just going to check. And I need to move my stamp down. So as I lift that up and bring in my grid sheet here for my placement on my card, and I want that down here. Okay, let's take this out of the way. And this time I'm going to ink up in basic gray. And I'm more interested in the outside edges. Let's give that another little press and see if I need to. I'm going to hit this top edge again. And of course, I should have put my magnets on there. Okay. Now we're ready to move this out of the way. And let's close up my ink here before we go any further. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper and my Pool Party ink and the blending brush that I use for blues. And let's just check to make sure that I've picked up ink, really loaded this. And I'm going out around the edge of this, kind of creating a halo. Okay, and then I'm just going to set this piece aside until later. Let me close up my ink pad and bring in this other piece that we stamped. And now it's time for some coloring. So I am going to zoom in a bit here. And for my flowers, I'm using Flirty Flamingo and Melon Mambo. And let's just start with our melon mambo down here in the center. And let's bring a little bit of that up, lighten it up with the lighter melon mambo. And then, of course, you know, we're going to keep right on. Oops, just pulled my Flirty Flamingo right apart. And then finish with all the way. Again, we're just bringing color all the way up. And I'm going to do that then on each of these petals, and I'll be right back. So I've got flowers colored here, and then I've got just this little bit here that I want to add some color to, and I'm using the dark Flirty Flamingo in here. And then I'm going to color with my greens and add some leaves here. And I'm going to start by stroking in a little bit of the light shaded spruce here. And then I'm going to come over that with my, let's go to the bullet tip. Nope, I've mixed up my caps, so we're going to go with my dark Old Olive now with that light shaded spruce, and it gives it an almost garden green color by adding that little bit of color. And I do want to let me take a moment and switch my caps around so that I've got the right markers. Okay, so now I want to color these lower leaves, and I'm going to start with my dark Old Olive down here, and then come in with the light Old Olive. And then let's grab my color lifter. We're going to use that to chase some of this ink back across the line, and I'm just coloring behind that ink first so that it has nowhere to go but back across the line. Okay, and then let's color this leaf here, and I'm going to do the same with adding some of the Old Olive in the dark, and then using the light here, and I just want a touch of that dark here on this end, and then I'm going to blend it out with the light to add a little bit of shading. Okay, so then I want some of the leaves that are on this piece, and we're going to use the dark here. And then come on down. And I'm just using the shading that's already in our stamp. So again, we're going to go with the dark, and I'm just kind of lightly outlining. And for this one, I'm going to come and add a little more texture by going over that dark with the light, and then let's bring the light down in here and then back across the top. I'm going to let this dry a minute, and then I'm going to hit that again with that light so that it deepens the shade, but I need it to dry first. Okay, and then over here, we're going to go with the dark, and then we're going to use this to move some of that dark around. This is the light Old Olive. And then the light just up in here. And I'm going to add just a hint of this light shaded spruce, and then come across it with my light Old Olive to blend it together a little bit. Okay, and then let's do this leaf in here, going in with my dark Old Olive, and then I'm going to come in with the light all the way up to the tip. And then I'm going to add some of that light shaded spruce in here, and then use that light Old Olive to blend that color around a little bit. Gives this just a little more depth of green in there. Now let's come back to this leaf here, and I wanted to come back in here with my light to deepen it up just a little bit. And I'm going to hit this under here with the light shaded spruce, and then come across this with the light Old Olive to help blend that in. And then, okay. Looking to see between my three if I've got most of my leaves colored, and I think I do. So let's cap these up, and I'm going to turn off the camera and do a little bit of fussy cutting, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got just a little bit more coloring to do on this piece, and we'll be ready to assemble our card. So I've got this leaf that's kind of hiding under the edge of this petal, and I'm doing the dark Old Olive, and then my light shaded spruce, and then finally the light Old Olive to bring that together. And I'm just going over that enough so that it will be seen here in the background. And then I've got this leaf that comes out up here, and I'm going to do that in the dark Old Olive. And then I'm going to put down light Old Olive over that, and come in here with a little bit of this light shaded spruce, and then blend this all with the light Old Olive. Okay, so that's it for the leaves there that are hiding in the background. Let's move those pins out of the way. And then I've got a couple of petals back in here. Let me grab my dark Melon Mambo, and then I'm going to color with my dark Flirty Flamingo, and then finish with the light Flirty Flamingo over all of that to pull it together. Okay, let's cap these up, and I think I'm done with all of the extra coloring. No, I'm not. I've got one more little bit. So we've got the centers of our flowers here, and I'm going to color all over with light Daffodil Delight, and then use the dark just to dot in so that you get a little bit of texture. And same thing on this one, the light Daffodil Delight, and then it helps if I put the right caps back on the pens, and then dot in some of the dark for a little bit of two-tone texture happening in there. Okay, now let's grab my dimensionals, and we're going to add our flowers on. And before I do that, I want to give this just a little bit of a curl here. Okay, and then I'm going to curl these just a little bit on the ends and add some multi-purpose glue down here on the bottoms. And tuck those right in around here. Let's touch that in here with my bone folder. Make sure I've gotten that gluey bit touching. Okay, and then I want to do the same thing and shape these just a little bit. And here's my dimensional here. We're going to stick one here. And then let's grab a mini dimensional over here on that one. And I just need to line this up here with, oops, okay. And then I've got these leaves here. It looks like I may have forgotten to cut one set of leaves. We'll see in just a second. Little multi-purpose glue down here, and we just want to have that come in over top here. And then let's take our greens and we're going to add our stems so that they come all the way up through this. I don't see it on the stamp, but I'm not liking this just hanging out here. So let's do some of that. And I know I added a little bit of that light shaded spruce up in here. And come over it again with the old olive to blend that in. And then let's add one more leaf here. I had colored an extra, so this is not going to be placed exactly where any of the leaves are in the stamp, but it just felt like once this was coming together that we needed another leaf here, kind of tying these groups together and overlapping a little bit, just trying to get that on my stem there. And now we need the sentiment, so I'm going to bring my Stamparatus back in and place this in. Let's use some magnets this time, and I'm going to add my grid sheet over top and place my stamp here so that I think the bottom is straight now. And let's close the door here. And just checking to make sure. Okay, now we're going to do a test stamp on this because it looks a little not straight to me. There we go. And add that grid there. Okay, that looks pretty darn good. Now, usually when I use the grids, you all message me and ask where I got them. And I do make a set of grids to go with the Stamparatus to make your stamping easier. If you're interested in the grids, just email me at Sara@theartfulinker.com and I'd be happy to hook you up. Okay, so we've got our sentiment on there. And let's add this to our card front. And this simple card is ready to pop in the mail. As you know, if you're in the United States, you can purchase some of your Stampin' Up! Supplies in my store using the link in the description below the video. And when you sign up for my newsletter, you receive the project sheets from the cards that I share. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your card making friends. And of course, when you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell, you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Have a great day. Bye.